In living color on the NCW Life Channel, Wake Up Wenatchee Valley has safely arrived on this Wednesday. It is the 18th day of July, 2018. Dan Kuntz, your host, back from a nice little four-day weekend. Is our news director, Steve Hare. Kat, as always, in control. So the team is back together again. Welcome back.
Thanks a lot. Great, great little time off we had up at Lake Wenatchee, doing some primitive camping. It would have been great if the DVD had worked. Yeah. No Wi-Fi. What the heck is this?
Yeah, what, really? I mean, come on.
Come on, man.
So you had fun.
We had a lot of fun.
Good. Good.
All three of us.
Good. We missed you. We took a vote. I got the results right here.
Okay.
Yeah, there are 14 on the staff. 8 missed you. 4 did not miss you.
And 3 didn't know who I was.
No, we had 1 person present not voting and 1 abstention. So it was actually closer than I thought.
All right. Well, I've got to work on it then, obviously. Yeah.
This place just isn't the same without you. It really isn't. But Steve's back. He's got the latest news. It's all good news on the Rocky Reach fire. In fact, they're busting up camp and turning it back over to the local authorities and heading out to some other fires. So
that's right.
They're all but done with that. That's really, really good news.
Not that you're not going to see a little smoke from that fire, but that's well within containment perimeter. So
that's the good news. The bad news is that we still have this red flag warning. It is still in effect until 10 o'clock tonight. It is already windy outside of our studios. We have wind out of the west, a good, consistent 20 miles an hour. And that's what we're going to have all day today. It is going to be cooler, though. 99 yesterday. 2 days in a row at 99.
Yeah. It was warm.
It was warm.
It was hot. I was planning to do some fishing up at Lake Wenatchee, but it was hot up there too.
Yeah. You got to be out at the dark 30. So even the fish don't like the heat.
No.
So, and I videotaped the World Cup final for you.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, because I know you wanted to see it. Yeah.
Well, plus, I was going to watch the rerun of the chess championship.
Oh.
In fact, I was reading a good book on my vacation, and they were describing chess championship versus, let's say, a baseball game, and you know the wave where the fans stand up and well in chess they also have a wave, but they just raise their eyebrows.
Let's do the wave.
It's a different sport.
Let's do the wave, Steve. You ready? Here we go.
Here we go.
There we go. That's it. So I got the videotape. You have a Betamax machine still, right?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, we're covered to go. So your weather forecast is one of sunshine, cooler temperatures, and wind. Those details are coming up. Steve's got a whole raft full of news to get to here in just a couple of minutes. We have sports. The All-Star game was fairly entertaining. We had 2 All-Star games last night. It's the West Coast League.
I thought it was 2 home run derbies we had.
It was, that's pretty much what it was. They set a new record for home runs at the All-Star game. Yeah, they had 10 of them, which broke the old record.
And Gene hit one.
Yeah, he had a huge home run. It was a big one. So we don't have highlights because they charge for that. We don't want to get into the politics of that stuff. But we do have sports coming your way. The obscure holiday today in history birthdays, everyone is entitled to Mike and I's opinion. And yesterday morning, after this show wrapped up, Tom McLaughlin and Mark Ward came in to videotape an interview to talk about the Royal Family Kids Camp. Their annual Children's Charity Golf Classic, which has been going on for 10 years, is back again on August 10th at the Wenatchee Golf and Country Club. It's for a good cause, and Todd and Mark will be part of our conversation segment of this program in the second half of the show.
We should also mention that Eric Grandstrom is covering the candidates debates, the Chelan County Commissioner candidates that are down at the Pybus Market, and that starts, I believe, at 7:30?
7:30.
Yeah.
So
there's still room down there. Nice breakfast, too.
Yeah. Don't encourage people to turn off the TV and leave us.
No.
You can turn off the TV and leave us, whatever. Let's go around North Central Washington with our Valley View cameras, courtesy of Localtel's Sky-Fi high-speed wireless.
What a lovely morning.
And that's what we're looking at this morning from the Cross
I can
cameras.
actually see Birch Mountain.
Still a Scotia hazy there, Steve. A lot of it has to do, as we mentioned before, with the high relative humidity, which is about as high as it gets this time of the morning. Relative humidity is 38 degrees, so it does trap the smoke and the haze a little bit on the valley floor. It will dissipate.
A little higher humidity level today, though.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's going to get down to
20%,
20 or less than that even. It's a distinct possibility. It's 73 degrees, by the way, outside of our studio. So that's our beginning camera. We always start out with a cross camera because it's a great shot of the Wenatchee Valley proper. Now from this point forward, you and I don't know.
I have no idea.
Yep, Kat gets to decide.
This is where
we
I
have
get
to guess what
disoriented.
we're looking at. And we do a slow dissolve
Wow.
That is cool. That's got to be number 1 canyon.
Great shot.
I love that American flag. I wonder whose property that is. That's neat.
I like that.
That is cool. That gives you an idea of the wind. The wind is right out of the west. It's blowing west to east, and as I mentioned just a couple of minutes ago, 20 miles an hour, 18 to 20 miles an hour. We're going to have gusts stronger than that. The cold front came in last night, Steve, and it's going to be with us all day today. It's not going to cool us down a great deal. It's going to make it more comfortable. But again, the wind is the big story today. That's a great shot. Good job, Kat. Camera 3. Let's see what she has in mind. She said, let's go see what's going up in Waterville, USA. The Columbia River, the mighty Columbia. Aniat is to your left there, the very little bit of Aniat. You can see Earthquake Point from the spectacular view there.
Looks like Sun Cove Estates there.
Yep, Sun Cove Estates.
On the old right.
Great, great view. Oh, it's just phenomenal. Oh, and we're going to move it. Here we go.
Here we are.
Steve, put your tray in the upright position. There we go. That is a great pan. Nicely done, Kat. That's just incredible. I wonder if we can make out, nope, can't quite make out the Desert Canyon Golf Course. I got to get up there and three-putt around there. That's a great view. Getting up there to the Waterville Plateau, the waving wheat, which, by the way, sure smells sweet, Steve.
Yeah, when the wind comes right behind the rain.
Great job, Kat. That's cool. I like moving these things live on TV. Good morning to our friends up in the Plateau. And finally, camera number 4, a slow dissolve to, now we have to guess, that's the monitor camera? Is that monitor, Kat? I believe that is. Pointed out towards Kashmir. And here we go, zooming out. Okay, that's the Apple Andes camera. Now I got it. That camera is on the ridge right above the Apple Andes complex of stores and the 59er Diner. Beautiful Kashmir, the Wenatchee River, the highway. You can see Steins, you can see Mount Kashmir, Mount Stewart. That's a great view there.
Yeah, great perspective.
Just beautiful.
On our beautiful Upper Valley.
Right. And look at the orchards. The orchards are just growing away. Been a good agriculture year, hasn't it?
So far, so
good. I talked to
my
friends who are in the profession of this stuff. They said the cherries, high quality, super high quality.
I was talking to my son yesterday. He works for Star Ranch, Oneonta, and he was telling me that cherry looks really good. Quantity, a little lower,
which is okay.
Quantity is excellent, which is great for returns.
Yep. You know. And now we're probably knee deep into peach season. I'm assuming we're getting into that. Apricots.
That's right.
And then of course
a little early for the Freestone peaches, but those are my favorite.
You know what I haven't done yet? Corn on the cob. I got to get that in my
Quincy corn
in my tummy. Oh yeah, now I'm hungry.
Let's go. Sweet corn. I love that.
Let's let's play 52 minutes worth of commercials and do some shopping.
Today's Wednesday. I think there's an evening market.
Yep, evening market at the Pybus. Pybus is going to be busy today. It's always busy. It's where communities meet. From the National Weather Service, here's your forecast. Again, the story today is the wind. Temperatures not as hot as it was on Monday and Tuesday because we have a cold front that has arrived. It's going to hang around today. It's going to cool us down. Look at that, 89, 86, 86. That's very nice, just about normal. And then we have another warming trend, by the way, as we begin the early part of next week. But the red flag warning that they issued yesterday remains in effect until 10 o'clock tonight because the combination is there for the red flag warning. You know what that is. Low relative humidity, strong winds, warm temperatures.
And no thunderstorms.
Yeah, no, there's no rain at all. In fact, it's one of the things that they actually emphasized on the forecast. Absolutely zero precipitation at all through at least Wednesday of next week. So basically it's typical July weather. There's nothing really funny about this. We're all used to that if you spend any amount of time here. This is what July normally looks like. So that's your forecast. Again, the red flag warning. We're going to keep a close eye on that. Please, the last thing we need today is a new fire going because it could really take off. So
we're seeing that right now out in Spokane. In fact, that's why we're sending our firefighters from Rocky Reach to other destinations because that one broke out yesterday and is already over 1,000 acres. So
that's not good.
State mobilization out there.
9 minutes after the hour, going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll wrap up everything that happened on Tuesday and kind of preview a little bit what may happen today on this Wednesday. Steve Hare has your news. It's right around the corner. It's brought to you by our friends at Cascade Medical Center. Train with a physical therapist who loves the outdoors as much as you do. Cascade Medical, partners in your health.
The physical therapists at Cascade Medical love the outdoors as much as you do. But sometimes where there's love, there's also pain. Let us help you get back to the activities that you love. Cascade Medical, partners in your health.
Join me for Life with Lisa Bradshaw on NCW Life. It's not about my life, it's about yours.
And now it's time for your local news update with Steve Hare.
Good morning and welcome back to the program. Here are some of the stories we're following on this Wednesday, July 18th here at NCW Live News. The process of demobilization is taking place as crews are being redeployed from the Rocky Reach fire. With that fire now 70% contained, managers issued the final fire update yesterday afternoon. Now, that fire has scorched well over 3,400 acres of mostly brush and grass along that steep slope north of Wenatchee. Staffing has been reduced to 120 crew members from a high of over 220. All evacuations have been lifted. Traffic is again running at normal speeds along Highway 97A there through the Rocky Reach Dam area, although still closed is the area on Birch Mountain Road above the pavement line there. So that's still no access for the public in that area. And again, 3,400 acres burned in that fire, but luckily no structures lost. Also, the priority today will be to complete as much of the remaining work as possible, primarily consisting of mop-up work. As that is accomplished, many of the fire's resources are being redirected now to the Upriver Beacon fire that broke out yesterday. The Spokane area of that fire now has gone to state mobilization, so you'll see a lot of traffic probably on I-90 heading in that direction today, so be advised. Also, crews mopped up an early morning brush fire yesterday on the south shore of Lake Chelan, about a mile north of Fields Point Landing in the 17,000 block of South Lakeshore Drive. That fire reported around 5:30 in the morning yesterday, burning uphill in timber and brush. Multiple crews responded to the scene, gaining an upper hand on that blaze quickly within about 40 minutes of the initial call. So they didn't let any moss grow into their feet there, obviously. Sunny Slope School has been playing host to over 200 wildland firefighters on the Rocky Reach fire this past week. Our own Megan McPherson visited the camp and filed this report.
On Saturday, July 14th, the equivalent of a small town began forming on the grounds of the Wenatchee School District's Sunny Slope Elementary School. By Monday, almost 250 firefighters and support personnel battling the Rocky Reach fire were using the school as home base. Exhausted firefighters returned to the school after hours of battling the blaze in searing heat over steep terrain. NCW Life was given a tour of the hastily assembled facility. Greeting firefighters as they returned from long shifts on the fire lines are shower and washing facilities, tents, and a dining hall. Meals are prepared by inmate crews and have received rave reviews, a spokesperson said. The near triple-digit temperatures have made beverages a vital part of the camp, with coolers filled with Gatorade and water always standing by.
We're responsible for staffing the trailer here. We monitor the radios, document any radio traffic that takes place, any status changes on the fire that come in from the line, keep track of crews, accountability, make sure everybody's where they're supposed to be. Kind of the relay operation between the incident command post and what's taking place out on the fire.
The firefighting crews come from federal, state, and local agencies, all working together in what has become a model for interagency cooperation and communication.
We're seeing, especially this summer, a lot of these are exceeding the capabilities of the local agencies to do on their own, and that's understandable. When you get fire coming up against populated areas, a lot of things at risk, it helps to have that additional help to come in and take on the job of fighting those fires.
As successful efforts to halt the progress of the Rocky Reach fire and hotspots of the blaze are extinguished, the camp will slowly disassemble, only to reemerge at the next major fire site. This is Megan McPherson with NCW Life News, signing off at the Incident Command Center at Sunny Slope Elementary.
Thanks a lot for that report, Megan. Hey, the North Central Regional Library has a new executive director. She's a Wenatchee native. Her name, Barbara Walters. She took over the reins this past Friday. Now, she's been acting director since June of 2017, and she's been part of the district's administrative team since 2007. The board launched a nationwide search earlier this year to choose a replacement for former director Dan Howard, who resigned last year. Walters started working for North Central Regional Library in 1989 as a library assistant. She worked her way up during her nearly 30 years with the district to management and then administrative positions, including information technology manager, director of library services, and deputy director. North Central Regional Library operates 30 libraries in Chelan, Douglas, Grant, Okanagan, and Ferry counties. Well, the evening news recently, we found out how those that have to work outdoors and the heat beat the heat, actually. We then asked how you, the viewer, beat the heat. NCW Life's Eric Granstrom has the story in part 2 of our feature, Beat the Heat.
So yesterday, we asked our Facebook audience what you do to beat the heat. Well, the number one thing people suggested, if you have that option, is to get out of this and inside. So let's go inside. So if you can, get inside. Now, we've had some interesting things from some of our viewers saying that they work at an office that's so cold because the air conditioning works so well, they actually have a space heater at their desk. Now, we don't have any problems like that here at the NCW Life channel. But the number one thing people made as far as a suggestion, if you can have access to it, is get something cold, like a popsicle. So we appreciate you telling us ways that you like to beat the heat here. Now, if you also have access to it, the other suggestion is to just sit in front of a fan. Now, while I was thinking about this as far as the popsicle is concerned, how do you open your popsicles? And do you break them in half? I've seen so many people that eat them whole, but you're asking for trouble. So I just break it in half, turn it around, go stick first, and it's time to cool off.
Only Eric. How do you beat the heat?
Air conditioning.
No.
Just as simple as that, air conditioning. I don't really mind the heat. I really don't. I'd much rather be hot than cold, I'll tell you that much.
Well, I kind of follow my pet's lead there. Mm-hmm. Lay naked on the tile floor. That'll clean up
do
a
it.
hurry.
Yeah.
Too early in the morning. Okay, sorry
None
about
of
that,
Steve and Lynette have a dog and a couple of cats. None of them have ever been clothed. They just run around the house naked the whole day. It's not something you want to see. It's 18 minutes after the hour, 73 degrees, windy, a wind west-northwest at 18 miles an hour. Going to be windy all day today. Windy tonight, dies down a little bit on Thursday, and a nice little cooling trend for those of you who don't have air conditioning. Tonight will be a good night to crack open the windows and cool off the house, because we're going to go down to more temperate temperatures. If we have a chance between now and 8 o'clock, we'll do the forecast one more time. If you like your news consumed on television, we make that possible for you at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. That's the 3 times that we air our newscast on television. You can also watch it on demand by going to our website at ncwlife.com. We have our newscasts archived, and the latest news, the evening news, will be posted on our website and on our Facebook page, 5:30, right around there. And if you want to be a part of our award-winning news team, have we won an award? Yeah, I'm sure we did. You can help us out by getting a hold of us, and handling those duties is my friend and yours, Steve Hare.
That's right. Any number of ways you can contact us, folks. If you have a news item you think would be fit for NCW Life, let us know about it. You can do it by email. Our address is news@ncwlife.com. Also contact us on our Facebook and Twitter pages. Also on our website, at the top of the page there, you'll see a little tab that says Contact Us. Just click that, talk to us that way, and as always, you can call us on the Breaking News Hotline. That's 888-6295. That's 888-NCWL. Get in touch with us.
Should we try and get the wave going one more time?
One more time.
You start it.
Okay.
Go. Going to take a quick break, and if the show hasn't been canceled in the next 63 seconds, I'll be back with sports. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live from Studio 2 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life channel.
We still have to wake up.
I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCW Life channel.
I'm Eric Granstrom with NCW Life Sports.
I'm NCW Life News Director Steve Hare.
Catch us on Local Tel Channel 12.
You can watch us on Charter Channel 19 or stream us live on ncwlife.com.
Follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook.
Where we cover the local high schools, the Wenatchee Wild, and the pro teams out of Seattle.
On Saturday, we have a 90% chance of rain.
Catch it all right here on the NCW Life channel.
Did you know that our pets can put on extra weight just like us? Obesity is the most common preventable disease in dogs and cats. Your pet's excess weight can lead to health issues like joint pain, arthritis, diabetes, high blood pressure, and more. Dr. Shauna Bayes and the staff at Paws and Claws Veterinarian Hospital care about your pets, and they can help you keep them lean and healthy. Call Paws and Claws today at 888-PAWS or find them on the corner of 4th and Isle in East Wenatchee.
And we are back on this Wednesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. Let's take a look at sports. Over 750 high school football players from all over the state are right here in our little hamlet for the Wenatchee football camp. It's going on all this week. Panther head coach Scott Devereaux says it's a good chance for football and conditioning in some pretty hot weather.
It's been a few years since we've been in the triple digits, yes. Yeah, we have watering stations set up all over the place. Each team is also responsible for having extra water. We only play 12 plays in a row and then water up, and then of course the kid can get water if he's subbed out. So water, hydration is definitely a focus all week. Well, JVs go first. JVs get their scrimmage in about an hour before the varsity on the same fields where the varsity will play. So basically I make the schedule for Monday, Tuesday ahead of time and the rotations, and then tonight we meet as coaches and we match up with who we want to play on Wednesday and Thursday. So if I want to see somebody again, and the coach agrees, and then we'll do that.
Coach Devereaux says it's a mix of light contact drills called 7-on-7 and then full contact scrimmages each day.
It's virtually no linemen on the field, so it's your passing offense versus passing defense. Defensive coaches hate it. Offensive coaches love it. But it's a chance just to work your quarterback and receivers versus some defensive backs and throw it all over the field. We get 16 plays. There's one defense on the field, 2 offenses, and they rotate back and forth. No contact, really, kind of two-hand touch, and then we'll go right into scrimmages. The idea is you get better, and you can coach your kids, and if there's a mistake made, the other team, you can ask them to line up and walk through a play. So we want everyone here to have a good time and get better. So it doesn't do us any good if a team needs a timeout, we'll give them that timeout. The coaches that come understand that, and that's why they're invited back every year.
Where are all these football players staying? They're staying at Wenatchee High School, Pioneer Middle School, Orchard Middle School, and the Ording football team is staying up at the Beehive Grange. By the way, we'll have a preview of the 2018 Wenatchee Panther football team tonight with Eric Granstrom on the NCAA Live channel. Well, the North beat the South 10-6 in the West Coast League All-Star game last night in beautiful Port Angeles, and the Wenatchee Apple Sox were very well represented. Curtis Bafis got the start on the mound, Corey Meyer behind the plate.
1-2 pitch again, breaking ball lined right to Jason DiCochea. Chad Stevens was too far off the base, and he's going to be doubled up. Side is retired. 3 batters up, 3 batters down, eventually for the South Division in the top of the first. South Division second baseman Chad Stevens is on the outfield grass. 2-1 pitch is lined into right center field, and this will get down for a base hit. 2 runs are going to come across to score. Kyle Schimpf making his way to second base. It's going to be offline. Kyle Schimpf with a 2 RBI double, and the North Division has taken a 3-0 lead. Gonzaga, another school that's well represented in this All-Star game, as Marenko lines one down the right field line, and this ball's going to drop fair for a base hit. Coming in to score is Dan Pruitt, and heading over to third base is number 17, Matt James. So it's runners at the corners as the North Division has taken the lead once again. It's 6-5. Let's see if Cal Henke could put it away here. He gets set. And the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. And the North Division takes the 2018 West Coast League All-Star game by a final score of 10-6.
And how did the local representatives do? Bafis win an inning. He allowed no runs and a hit. Mesa Marenko went 1 for 3 with an RBI. Corey Meyer was 1 from 2 from the plate. Jeremy Yellen, by the way, didn't get into the game at all. Cesar Lopez of Walla Walla and Kyle Schimpf of Port Angeles were selected as co-MVPs. So the All-Star break is over for the local 9. It's back to play again tonight. All across the West Coast League, the Apple Sox host the Portland Pickles First of 3 games tonight, Paul Thomas Senior Field, first pitch 7:05. Corvallis is at Victoria. Yakima Valley hosts Port Angeles. Bellingham is at Walla Walla, and Kelowna will host Bend. Well, Gene Segura, of course, initially was not selected to the American League All-Star team when the rosters were initially announced, but of course the fans voted it in, and by golly, it was a beautiful, wonderful thing because Segura showed the voters they made the right choice last night in Washington, D.C. He hammered the tie-breaking 3-run home run in the 8th inning to help the American League to an 8-6 10-inning victory in the All-Star game presented by MasterCard. Can't forget about the sponsors. Segura's night probably would have landed him the MVP award had it not been by a mistake by his very own teammate, Edwin Diaz, in the 9th. They were leading 5-3, the American League was, and then Edwin Diaz gave up the game-tying 2-run home run, believe it or not. He ended up with a win, however, because Houston's Alex Bregman untied it in the top of the 10th inning with a solo home run. He was voted the game's MVP, Mr. Bregman was. There was a record 10 home runs hit in last night's All-Star game. The Mariners get back to the second half of the season on Friday, 3 games against the Chicago White Sox. Chicago, Chicago. It's a toddle in town, you know. Frank Sinatra wouldn't lie to you. 26 minutes after the hour. The obscure holiday of the day today, it's Caviar Day. Caviar. Of course, caviar is essentially salt-cured fish eggs from sturgeon. And people go, ooh, of course it is a delicacy. Didn't used to be that way. In fact, the roe of the sturgeon was the one thing they threw out. They used to feed it to the pigs. But by the end of the 18th century, caviar found its way to the dinner tables of royals around the world. It has become a coveted food item. It's, of course, a luxury food. It's unbelievably expensive. I went online this morning. The rarest and most expensive caviar, it's considered by caviar connoisseurs true caviar, is beluga caviar, which comes from sturgeon, which lives in the Caspian Sea. And a 17-ounce tin of beluga caviar this morning online will run you about $2,000. So I can only buy 4. Happy Caviar Day. I love caviar. Just can't afford it. All right, let's do today in history. 146 years ago today, if you lived in England and you could vote, you could finally vote by a secret ballot. The Ballot Act of 1872 introduced secret ballots to Great Britain. I kid you not, before this date and all the times before that, your vote was public. And the employers and the landowners would sit there at the ballot box and tell you how to vote, or you would be fired, or you would be evicted from your house. Can you believe that? They didn't have secret ballots in the United Kingdom until 146 years ago. Takes a little longer for some countries than others. That happened on this date, July 18th, 1872. July 18th, 1953, a truck driver from Memphis, Tennessee, by the name of Elvis Presley, walked into the offices of the Memphis Recording Studios, forked over $3.98, and recorded 2 songs for an acetate disc to give to his mom, Gladys, as a present. He recorded My Happiness, and That's When Your Heartaches Begin. Just walked in off the street and recorded it. Sam Phillips, who owned the Memphis Recording Company, wasn't there at the time. It was the receptionist, Marion Keisker, who actually threaded the reel-to-reel machine and pressed the record for Elvis, and she thought this Elvis guy's pretty good, so she took down her name, said, "What's your phone number, Elvis?" In case we want to get back to you. He said, "We don't have a phone." But she kept the tape, and when Sam Phillips came back later on in the afternoon, she said, "There's this kid who came in and recorded. You might look into this guy." It all started for Elvis on this date 65 years ago. Happy 50th birthday to Intel. There it is. Intel is 50 years old today, founded in California on this date of 1968. It is the world's second largest and second highest valued semiconductor chip maker in the world. They were surpassed a couple of years ago by Samsung. But if you have something around your house and you do that has a microprocessor in it or a chip like this, it probably came from Intel. 50 years old today. And on July 18th, 2013, 5 years ago today, Detroit ran out of money. No. Detroit was $20 billion in debt, and they had no choice but to file bankruptcy. The largest municipal bankruptcy in U.S. history filed in this state 5 years ago. Most of the creditors got about 14 cents on the dollar, but Detroit is recovering, and we're big fans of Detroit. Hang in there. And finally, at the bottom of the hour, let's do some birthdays for you on this July 18th. He would have been 100 years old today. They're having huge celebrations all over South Africa. I'm talking, of course, about Nelson Mandela, the very first president of South Africa, Nobel Prize laureate, lived a long and fruitful life, is considered the legend. If we have George Washington, South Africa has Nelson Mandela, who of course passed away 6 years ago at the age of 95. Nelson Mandela would have been 100 years old today, and they are celebrating his remarkable life in South Africa throughout the course of the week. John Glenn was born in the state in 1921. We lost John Glenn a couple of years ago at the age of 95, the first American, of course, to orbit the Earth, the last of the Mercury 7 astronauts, and proudly served the state of Ohio as a United States Senator for 24 years. John Glenn was born in the state in 1921, and we miss him. Dion is 79. Dion DiMucci, there you go. Why must he be a teenager in love? Wear or win, lonely teenager, keep away from Runaround Sue. He's the type of guy who likes to roam around. He never stays in one place. He goes from town to town. He's the wanderer. Abraham Martin and John, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame class of 1989, the legendary Dion, 79 years old today, and Joe Torre, who's been the chief baseball officer for Major League Baseball for the last 7 years, is 78 years old today, a 9-time All-Star, Baseball Hall of Fame, class of 2014, 84 wins in the playoffs, who is by far the most of all time, of course, as the manager of the Yankees. He won 6 pennants and 4 world championships. Happy 78th birthday to Joe Torre. 31 minutes after the hour, everybody is entitled to Mike McNalty's opinion. He's got a good one for you today. And then my conversation with Tom McLaughlin and Mark Ward, a conversation you don't want to miss. Let's raise money for the Royal Family Kids Camp. That's coming up as well. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
I have a doctor who knows what they're talking about.
It's just so much more hands-on and friendly than anywhere else I've ever been.
It's really great to walk into somewhere where you feel welcomed and you feel accepted.
We've just been grateful for the care and respect that we've been given there.
And here when I come to visit my doctor, I'm not afraid to ask questions.
It's not just about getting you in and out.
I love my care at CVCH. It's awesome. Give it a try.
The Arbiter of Stoke is a series that highlights a variety of outdoor adventure sports that are available in the Pacific Northwest. I dedicate my time to enjoying this natural playground. The decision is yours. How will you keep your stoke?
Hi, Justin here, owner of Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere. Club Crow is your place for famous blues, brews, and barbecue. We are your one-stop bar and grill, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Looking for a fun night out? Join us at Club Crow Saturday nights. We have live bands to rock the night away. Club Crow is bringing comedy to Cashmere. Check out our Facebook page for upcoming dates. Live jam session first Sunday of every month. Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere, the coolest place in town.
Join me for Life with Lisa Bradshaw on NCW Life. It's not about my life, it's about yours.
Oh, hey, Nate. What you doing there? I'm just reading a book. A book? I didn't even know they made those anymore. Where'd you get it?
Right down the street at Yield Bookshop.
Yield Bookshop? I'm gonna go check it out.
If you're looking for a good book to read or you're in the market for some beautiful handcrafted creations from local artisans, look no further than Ye Olde Bookshop right in the heart of downtown Wenatchee.
Hey there, Wenatchee. I'm Sean Lee, and I'm inviting you to come down and check out what we're all about at Badger Mountain Brewing.
Great beer, good food, and an endless source of entertainment for the whole family. Our Honey Blonde beer is flying off the shelves at your local grocery store. But I tell you what, it's even better on tap. And while you're here, try our signature Badger sauce with one of our delicious meals. Whether you're in the mood for a wrap, salad, pizza, or nachos, Badger Mountain Brewing has what you're looking for.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, I recently read a book, Psycho USA by Harold Schechter. Now, this book discusses real but little known American serial killers from the period of 1782 to 1961. Now, although the term serial killer didn't come into vogue until the 1960s, Schechter presents case after case, which shows that serial killers have been a part of American society since the beginning of the society. Schechter suggests that also firearms have made murder of multiple individuals more efficient. Serial killers of our past have simply used the current technology of their time, such as hatchets, which seem to have been very popular, to commit their multiple murders. Schechter also argues convincingly that individuals committing these acts were what is responsible for the crimes they committed, that they were responsible for the crimes they committed, not the tools they use. And I have to say I agree as best as possible. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Vamanos junk haulers are pleased to announce they've added moving services to their list of ways to make your life easier. Vamanos Moving Service. No move is too big or small. In fact, Vamanos does it all. Vamanos employees are experienced at moving your home, office, business, and storage. They'll carefully load and unload your belongings. And for the do-it-yourselfers, Vamanos also rents trucks and cargo trailers. Call Vamanos Junk Haulers and Moving Service today to schedule your free estimate.
Boating is a great way to bring family and friends together. At Bob File Boats and Motors, they have the boats for any lifestyle: fishing, wakeboarding, or just relaxing on the water. Buying a new boat is more affordable than you might think at Bob File Boats and Motors. Online at bobfile.com or on Sunset Highway in East Wenatchee.
Bob File Boats and Motors, we're dealing. Bob File's gonna make you smile.
We're here to celebrate every season with award-winning dining, full-service spa, and 170 waterfront guest rooms. Come experience our tradition of hospitality at Campbell's Resort on Lake Chelan.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you get 35 years of experience and customer service in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's friendly staff strongly believe in repairing before replacing and service all major brands of HVAC units. Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning is your local, independent, trained comfort specialists, proudly serving all of North Central Washington. Call 884-6444 today.
And we're back on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. If you have purchased a car in North Central Washington in the last 30 years, you probably know these two gentlemen. We're not here to talk about cars. Mark Ward to my immediate left, who spent, when he's not here, he's at Cascade Auto Center. And we all know Todd McLaughlin, the general manager of Apple Valley Honda. Not here to talk about cars. We're here to talk about golf and a really cool charity that's going to benefit. It's the 11th annual Children's Charity Classic. Gentlemen, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Quick little car story while we get going, because Todd's here. And I first of all, Mark, I apologize for this, because it has nothing to do with your fine organization. But late summer, you might remember this, Todd, late summer, early fall of 2001, I'm doing a radio broadcast remote.
Midnight Madness.
At Apple Valley Honda. And I had a Civic and I liked it. I drove it. It was a great car, very dependable, great gas mileage. And we're not really moving a lot of cars, and I kind of felt kind of bad about that. And so we were in a commercial break, and Todd said, well, you know, we're phasing out the 01 Honda Accords because they have a new design for the 02, so we got some great deals for some 01s. Car talk. Yeah. So I took one for a test drive, and I liked it, and I bought it right then and there. And that was September of 2001, maybe October of 2001. And I still have the car.
And we made up for that whole entire evening with your cell.
Yeah, I think you did.
Oh, yeah.
I've been trying to drive that thing into the ground for 10 years, and it just keeps going, Todd.
I know.
So that's a personal testimonial for
That's
me.
the problem. And then when you get ready to trade it in, nobody ever trades in their Hondas. They
Nope.
always have a family member they have
Yeah.
to give it to, a next door neighbor,
Yeah.
a coworker, and so we never get those older cars back.
Enough shop talk.
Yep.
There's a reason why you're here. Give us a quick 101. Mark, we'll start with you. What's happening on August 10th up at the Country Club?
On August 10th, we're having our 11th Children's Charity Classic, and it's for Royal Family Kids Camp. It's our 11th year, and it's been a great success. We started a long time ago just with, 40 golfers and a little raffle, and it's really grown real big, so we're excited about it.
How did you get roped into this, besides you're a nice guy?
Well, I got roped in by Todd a little bit. He came to me one time and just said that he had been asked to do some fundraising for Royal Family Kids Camp, so he wanted to do a golf tournament, and I said, well, I'll get involved, and little did I know how involved I would get. So I've been there 11 years, and it's just been great.
Well, I guess the question is for you, Todd. How did you get involved? Because I played in this tournament, and I tell you right now, when Todd talks at the end of the tournament, you get emotional, you get choked up.
Yeah,
this is something that really means a lot to you.
Well, my wife and I were approached by a lady named Janice Hendrickson, and anyway, she was. It's been on her heart with foster kids. I don't know why, and it wasn't just about foster kids, but we're talking about some of the most severe cases of abuse, neglect, abandonment. It just
malnutrition.
Oh my goodness! Physical, mental, sexual. It just. Some of the horrific things. Anyway, so she had a heart for those children. One of the things that she came across was a national camp called Royal Family Kids Camp, started 20 years ago. Anyways, it had grown up to the point where our camp is, I think, 204. So it was the 204th camp around the nation. And so she got involved with DSHS to talk about, and CPS to talk about this camp and what she would like to start. And anyways, through the course of it, she needs funds to start this camp. More importantly, though, she needs people. It's amazing. There's 50 to 60 people that go to this camp that give up a week's long vacation, out of their year to serve at this camp. And it's amazing. They need that 50, 60 people every year. But they also, to get the camp going, they need funds. So she approached my wife and I about heading up corporate fundraising. And right out of the gate, we needed to get going immediately. What's the quickest thing to get going? Well, I'm a golfer, and I'm in marketing. How can we get that going? So start a golf tournament, and it took off from there. And asked Mark and a few others, and then Mark's the one that came up with the Children's Charity Classic. Let's start a nonprofit.
Sure.
To support another nonprofit. So realistically, we are classified as a 501c3, but we're really not. We're a 5091A or something like that, according to the IRS, because we're not an actual charity.
Okay.
We are an organization that supports a charity.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Did you get that, Mr. Accountant out there?
Yeah.
A lot of organizations, all of them nonprofits, do a lot of golf tournaments all over North Central Washington, and they're held at all these fantastic golf courses. I've played in this one, and I can tell you right now, flat out, it's a lot of fun.
It is a lot.
It's a lot of fun, and we have photos from a couple of years ago at the Wenatchee Golf and Country Club. I had a chance to participate, and some of the photos you're going to see, you're going to recognize some of the people up there. There's Todd right there,
right in the middle.
And you have great legs. Why are they being covered up by the side?
No, the guy standing next to me is a little taller than me, and he's always making fun that he's taller than me. So he kind of stood up on his tiptoes, and I squatted down just to make him feel better about himself.
That's just the kind of guy you are.
Yeah.
As you look at these photos, you'll notice everybody is smiling. And there's a good reason. It's a lot of fun, and people get involved in this thing. You never have any problem getting people to come back and play, do you?
No, not at all. Matter of fact, these people, most everybody you see here so far has been here almost the 10, 11 years that we've
There's Mark Wheeler. He's a great stick. My good friend Mark from KEYG.
Well, he can hit it a long ways.
He can hit the ball a long ways. That's some folks from Cherry Creek. I believe I recognize JP there on the left. So again, these are from a couple of years ago at the tournament. There's Martin Miller. See, there you go. You'll let anybody play.
Absolutely.
And there's Jeff Dahlstrom, some other great guys. Again, this is from a couple of years ago, and it's at the Country Club, and they've always come to play with you guys. They are a great host.
Oh, they have been.
Absolutely, yeah.
We started at Highlander there for a few years, and then not that anything was wrong, because actually Highlander puts on a really great event. We just needed to expand it. We needed more room. The whole idea behind it was to expand not only the golf tournament, but create a whole day's event with a golf tournament, and then in an evening event where we had an auction, dinner, bring in some wineries with hors d'oeuvres and stuff like that, and more of a couples evening too. And so this is the first year we've been able to really get this going. It's called the Corks and Forks.
And we'll talk a little bit about that as we get deeper into the deal. The camps themselves, the idea is to get these kids, as Todd mentioned, they're just the circumstances are soberingly terrible. You get these kids out of the situation, and they get to go out in the fresh air and go to camp and just kind of leave all their troubles behind. That's the whole idea, isn't it? Every kid should go to camp regardless of the situation. These kids need it more than anybody.
Yeah, I think the big thing about it is that this camp changes their life. You know, these are kids that are struggling so much that even that 1 week period, we get some pretty emotional stories from people we know that go to camp, that just the way these kids react and how they are when they get to camp and what they're like when they leave camp. So, and the cool thing is that now that this has gone along, now with this tournament and things getting more popular, we're able to raise more money, and now it's not just that week camp. They can now mentor these kids throughout the year, so they don't just get that 1 week. They get more after. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, the whole camp was designed to really start the healing process with these kids, to get interactions with adults where they were safe, protected, loved, and it's working. And the biggest question I've always gotten was, well, what after this camp, what happens to these kids? Well, they obviously go back to their foster families. Then they get bounced around and so forth like that. Well, what do you do through the course of the year? Well, we never had the funding to be able to do it, let alone the staffing. And by the way, it's 100% volunteer. Royal Family Kids Camp's 100% volunteer. Children's Charity Classic's 100% volunteer. As a matter of fact, every dime that is spent at the Golf Classic, every entry fee, every sponsor, every money that comes in, 100% of it goes to the camp itself. And because of that, they were able to start finally after 10 years a mentoring program, and this last year was the first year, and it was absolutely tremendous. It was awesome. They were finally able to get enough people involved, and then they had the funds to be able to do it. And now these kids are not just being dropped through the course of the year. They go to camp, and then every month they get together and they're going to ball games and swimming events, and it's just overnight stays, and it's just, they're kids.
Yeah. They're kids, and they need to be kids. They need to be normal kids, living normal lives, and these kids are not. I've had the folks from CASA on, court-appointed special advocates, many, many times. There's like 200 kids in their system right now, and it's most of it leads back to the opioid epidemic. These young parents are having babies, and they're choosing between their habit and feeding their kids, and eventually CPS and DSH will step in and simply take their kids away from them. And it's not fair to the kids. No, this is terribly traumatic for the kids.
And some of these kids are coming to this camp. Like I said, it's the most severe cases. These kids are, they go through applications and they're scrutinized and so forth like that, of which kids are capable of going, and what are they targeting as far as the needs and so forth like that. So.
Last I checked, and correct me if I'm wrong, the basic cost of sending the kid to camp for a week is like $500.
It's around $500, but we've been able to get the cost down to where we can include the whole mentoring year included in that $500, not just for camp, but also the mentoring. And the reason why is because there's also multiple donations coming in through the course of the year for events and so forth like that. So.
And it should be pointed out, even if you're not a golfer and you have no interest in golfing on August 10th at the Country Club, you can go online and simply donate and send a kid to camp without really doing anything.
Right here at our website, childrenscharityclassic.com.
So.
Yeah, it's just you can sponsor a child, you can donate, whatever. So.
So let's get back to golf. Give me the nuts and bolts. The registration deadline is August 8th. The golf tournament itself is August 10th. How are you doing, first of all, for sponsorships? I suppose you could always use more.
Yeah, I think we always could use more. Yeah, the community's been really great. We have been getting some great sponsorships from people, but we can always use it. If you don't want to sponsor a hole, or if you're not a golf tournament sponsor, we have other ways. You can just sponsor a child. You can sponsor items for our dinner auction at the Corks and Forks, and you can actually sponsor a table. Your company can come sponsor a table, bring people from your company and have dinner with us, and so yeah.
Yeah, the tournament speaks for itself. It's a golf tournament. It starts at 9 o'clock in the morning on a Friday in August at the Country Club. And it's been remodeled, so we're going to be one of the first events there at the new remodeled Country Club. It's just going to be, I mean, it's fun to get out in the morning and golf. I mean, especially with all the people locally that you know and stuff. Those are fun events and so forth like that. But the big thing is the evening event that we're now initiating.
Talk about Corks and Forks. Talk about that.
So the idea is that the tournament gets over somewhere around 2 o'clock, and if people want to come back, from the golfing, which we don't expect a lot of people, it gets hot that time of year, but if they do want to come back, we're going to have an event starting at 5:30. We're going to have hors d'oeuvres there with a few wineries, have some wine tasting, and a social occasion for about an hour and a half. Then we'll have a light dinner starting around 7 o'clock with an auction to follow. It's not going to go till 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night. We're talking about a 5:30 to maybe a 9 o'clock evening, 8:30, 9 o'clock evening. But a great time to get maybe your wife or somebody to come out to a really nice event in August, because there's not a lot going on this time of year. Yeah. So a Friday evening event at this beautiful new renovated country club overlooking the greens and so it's just going to be a phenomenal event.
And we'll have you out of there early, wink, wink.
Wink, wink. Well, I've played in these before, and at the country club, and when we got through playing golf, we always had just a great spread, a bunch of food and good times and camaraderie and prizes.
Everybody's so wiped out that half of the people were gone by the time we went to feed them dinner, so we had to change it up a little
bit. For the
bit.
golfers out there, get your foursome together. You can still sign up. How much does it cost, and what are you getting if you're golfing on the 10th of August? What's your green fee, and what are you getting with all that stuff?
So if you sponsor a whole team, it's $500. Otherwise, if you want to play individually, we welcome that too, $125 a player. You get your 18 holes, and our tournament is kind of a color ball tournament, so it's a little different. So we actually have 2 winners instead of 1 winner. And you get lunch included with that. And we have lots of fun games out on the course that you can participate in.
All the usuals are lots of fun.
You just before the event starts, chipping, putting, bang the gong out there. Yeah, I mean, there's just lots of
mulligans.
I mean, Trace Gil Mortgage did last year. They did something on hole 1 that you had to spin this wheel, and whatever it landed on, you had to perform what it was. There was men out there teeing off in tutus. I had to swing left-handed. People were having to be blindfolded and so forth like that. It's starting to see a lot of people having fun with the tournament rather than just the golfing side of things.
If you're a serious golfer, great, but it's fun. It's all about fun.
We do have that side of serious golf because we do the color ball as kind of a one-man scramble in, and so you get a single score and you get a team score. It is definitely different, and it's challenging too. So
let's get some people signed up. What do they need to know? Where do they go? Websites, all that good stuff. Marcus?
www.childrenscharityclassic.com. And our new website is up, and it is very user-friendly. So, I mean, anything that you want to do, you'll be able to do that on the website.
And I'm sending out emails. So I have thousands of emails going out to everybody. So please respond.
How many foursomes can you cram in there? Are you getting close to getting? I mean, the time is of the essence. Let's get her done. Let's get them signed up.
Time's of the essence, but we're probably talking 32 foursomes, and so far. It's the time of summer where a lot of people are on vacation, still unsure whether they're going to be there. We're half full right now, but we fill up about a week before the tournament hits. It just goes like that. So, but we really do want more interest in the tournament. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to be able to tell people I'm sorry.
Yeah, not this year. It's so popular. You better hurry up and get in.
And we've had to turn people away in the past too. So. And then if not, you can't make the golf tournament, then great, make the evening event.
Come for dinner.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Sorry, I got to work on the 10th, but
the food at the country club is phenomenal.
It's good.
Oh, it is good.
It's good, and I'm curious just to see what they've done to the new remodel of the clubhouse.
I'm looking forward to it.
So
it'll be great.
It'll be great.
For sure.
Go ahead, Tom.
That's just all for the kids. Everything that we do is for these children. And we're talking about getting these children that have had just the worst experiences earlier in their lives to get them to a point where they see that they can be productive citizens in society. And we are seeing it. You should see some of the stories, the video clips of kids coming from camp and what they've been able to accomplish in life. I mean, there's some real leaders that have come from this, and who knows, without this camp, it may never happen. And so this is why we're so passionate and so involved with it.
And it's obvious. It comes through on television. Trust me on that. Registration deadline is August 8th. The tournament is August 10th. And, of course, as I mentioned before, Corks and Forks follows the tournament after a couple of hours. And I want to close out where we began. Subarus are outstanding automobiles as well.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
Appreciate that.
If I wasn't trying to drive my Honda into the ground and my Accord, which simply keeps running, Todd, no matter how hard I try, as soon as it falls apart, I'll go check you out, all right, Mark?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Eastern Washington. It's a great place to call home and a great time to own a home. It's the ideal place to lay down roots for your family and your future. Gisa Credit Union thinks Eastern Washington is a great place to own a home, too. That's why we offer all kinds of home loans with personal attention every step of the way. We're your home. For home loans, we're Gisa Credit Union.
Dear Mary Maids, please clean the kitchen, and the cabinets, and floors, and the chairs. And I wish you could clean the dog. Colin is now feeding himself. Thanks, Megan.
Hi, Megan. No worries. We got it all cleaned up. Let's hope Colin gets past the spaghetti flinging stage soon. Till then, we've got you covered. See you next time, Mary Maids.
Looking for a hands-on, high-demand job? Now is the perfect time to get trained for a career in manufacturing. Washington currently has a shortage of skilled tradespeople, and retirements are making room for more. The machining program at Wenatchee Valley College is designed to give students the foundation to excel in this precision industry. Don't wait, there are only 15 spots left. A 2-year degree and a 1-year certificate are available. Learn more at wvc.edu/machining.
I'm Jenny Rojanasatian, and this is Guada TV. Every week we will be bringing you a first look at North Central Washington business, tech, and education news. You'll hear from local influencers and innovators who live right here in the Valley. Together, we'll discuss hot topics, current events, and resources that can support your business, our schools, and this community. Join me every week, and let's get inspired.
And welcome back. A couple of minutes left on this Wednesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz, your host. Let's get you up to date with the latest weather situation. We still have the red flag warning. It was issued yesterday. It's been in effect since yesterday, and it goes all the way through till 10 o'clock tonight. The red flag warning goes up and running from the National Weather Service when 3 things converge, and that would be low relative humidity, warm temperatures, and strong winds. So we have a red flag warning until 10 o'clock this evening for pretty much all of the north central Washington area and even extending out into the Columbia Basin. Because the story today, although considerably cooler, you see that 92 our high today after a 99er yesterday. It's going to be cooler, but it's going to be breezy. Right now, the wind is out of the west-northwest at 18 miles an hour at 75 degrees, and it's going to be windy all day today. Pretty consistent right about that mark I just mentioned, about 20 miles an hour out of the west-northwest. It's going to be breezy tonight, 16 to 21 miles an hour with the occasional gust even above that. And the reason for that is that we do have a cold front that's kind of bumping into the high-pressure ridge that's been dominating our weather for the last 4 or 5 days. So the big story today is going to be the wind. Windy today, windy tonight. We'll call it breezy on Thursday. It'll be more like 11 to 15 miles an hour. Then the cold front will begin to exit Thursday night. Friday, we begin to warm up a little bit. So if you're really tired of the super hot weather, and we've had it a little bit cooler today, 92, and then cooler still as we get a little bit closer to the weekend, it'll be more like normal temperatures. And then starting next week, we warm right back up again. It is July, after all. Quick little note on the Rocky Reach fire. They're going to turn the fire back over to local fire authorities at noon today. The Type 3 incident management team will dispense. Local authorities will assume jurisdiction of that fire because they have to head out to the Spokane Valley. They got a new wildfire that broke out there yesterday. That's where the firefighters are going to be heading. So all things looking good for the Rocky Reach fire. Tomorrow on this show, Paul Schilp will be my guest. Paul Schilp is the interim executive director of the Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center. It'll be a fascinating conversation. That'll be on Thursday's show. Everybody have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care and bye-bye.